Hey everyone, it is Thursday, March 31st. The time is 1 p.m. and the temperature right now is a rather nice 16 degrees Celsius. And I am here in Ramsden Park, which is just north of downtown. And there's a look at my fairly new Segway Ninebot Max scooter. And for this one, I'll be hopping on the scooter and heading into downtown, although I haven't quite figured out the route just yet. I think I'll splash an animated map on the screen right now that'll show you the route I end up taking. And she's walking a number of dogs. And away we go. I think this here is Gibson, and this will lead me out to Yonge Street. And as you can tell, the ground is a bit wet. It has been raining on and off all day. And according to the forecast, there's about a 30% chance we'll experience some rain on this ride. Also, there's an extreme wind warning in effect, although things don't seem to be too bad. So here is Yonge Street, and I'll just take this bike lane, I think southbound to Bloor Street. And just on the left is Rosedale subway station. And on the right is Ramsden Park, where I started. We've got some flashing lights up ahead. So this is my second attempt at recording a ride for this channel on the scooter. I took it out the day that I got it. I ended up doing something a little silly. I kind of left the camera zoomed in a bit. That was a rather long, I think about an hour and 15-minute ride. And I had plenty of range to go from my home in midtown and ride around downtown and back up to where I live. And I still had over half of the battery left. That's really the reason why I got this particular scooter, is the range is quite ridiculous. I'll just have to tiptoe around these emergency vehicles. Hopefully everyone's okay. The scooter is water resistant. I think it's an IP5X rating. So that should be more than enough to handle these conditions or any light rain. And it's got air-filled rubber tires, which give you better traction. Well, there's some wind in wet conditions, which is a bit different from my other scooter, which has the solid tires, which have the benefit of never getting a flat. I also really wouldn't trust them in conditions like this. So there's clearly a trade-off there. gonna try to stick to bike lanes for most of this one. So this is Yonge and Bloor. And the bike lane disappears just to the south of here, so I'm gonna head east on Bloor. That Hudson's Bay on the left is closing. They announced that a few weeks ago. That was previously their flagship store in downtown. And here is Church Street. And this scooter has 3 modes. There's an eco mode, which is quite slow. Don't play chicken with the, don't play chicken with meat pigeons, is what I meant to say. There's an eco mode, there's drive mode, which is what I'm in now. And that goes up to around 24K. And there's a sport mode, which can hit 30 kilometers. I'm in drive mode right now. I'm actually going 25 kilometers per hour. Here's Huntley Street. All right, so this is duplicating part of the route that I did on the first ride I took out on this. I went south down Sherbourne. I think I'm going to take this all the way south down to the lake. And then maybe coming back up north, I'll cut through the University of Toronto campus, heading up St. George. And maybe I can give the hill climbing abilities of this thing a real test by going up Poplar Plains. That's a very steep hill. And that is just north of DuPont Street. So this is southbound Sherbourne Street. On the east side of downtown, it's the only major north-south street with a bike lane. I think River Street might have one, but that doesn't extend all the way north up to Bloor. And here is Wellesley Street. This street has a bike lane. And I am tracking this ride. So far, we've traveled 2.6 kilometers. And I've got about 90% battery. Although I started this one probably around 95. I rode to the starting point from my home in Midtown. Is this thing going to track my speed? It says 36, so that wasn't me. And although the scooter doesn't have a suspension, it is quite smooth. And it's also dead quiet. You don't really hear the motor. You don't hear any rattles or squeaks. This particular model has a reputation for being something of a tank. And here's Carlton Street. That guy in front of me has the same scooter. That's the Allen Gardens on the right. Wind has picked up quite a bit. And on the right is the home where they filmed the Kenny vs. Penny TV show, which is rumored to be making a comeback. This is Dundas Street East. So this part of town doesn't have the best reputation. I've never really found anything wrong with it. Sherbourne Street, construction starting March. Dundas to King. That's nice, the way they just put a gate in the middle of the bike lane right there. There's always a large group of people gathered on the left side there. And here is Queen and Sherbourne, and there's soon to be a new Ontario Line subway station going in this area. It'll be the Mossburn station. And the province broke ground on the Ontario Line earlier in the week. Or rather, Metrolinx did. So I've been thinking of doing a ride, probably on the e-bike, that would follow the course of the new subway line. I could stop and show where each station is. Here's Adelaide Street. I guess they don't want me to hop up on this bike lane with that pylon there. And here is King Street East. Seem to be keeping pace with that motorcycle. And here is Front Street East. Really get how you could enjoy your music at all on a bike that loud. I guess don't knock it till you try it. And here is the Esplanade, which has recently had bike lanes put in. That bike is probably headed towards the highway. She's signaling to make a right turn here. And for some reason the bike lane just comes to a sudden end. Look how choppy this road is. Like I had the right idea hopping up on the sidewalk. That's just not something I can bring myself to do. And And here is Sherbourne Common. So we'll go south and take a peek at the lake. Then I'll ride over to Sugar Beach, and then maybe I'll go over to Simcoe Street and I'll take that up. I'm not sure where exactly. I'll find my way to Beverly Street and St. George Street. I have no idea what this barge is doing here. That is a massive crane on it. And this wind has really picked up. It's probably just because I'm by the lake. It certainly feels a lot colder than 16 degrees. And the water's pretty choppy. There's a look out towards the Turtle Islands. There's the Portlands off in that direction. This is one of my favorite spots to come down when I'm streaming. Speaking of which, I'll be doing a whole lot of that from this thing. And here is Sugar Beach. Just on my right is the Chorus Entertainment Building. It's a large media conglomerate. This might sound crazy, but I think I want to put my gloves on. This wind has proven to be something else. Of course, I dropped my backpack. I'm trying to be careful not to knock my camera. The first time I tried to record a scooter ride this year was on my other scooter, and I hopped off to put on my gloves and I accidentally knocked my camera. And then for the rest of the ride, it was looking straight down at my feet, and I didn't notice until I got home. So I couldn't use that ride. And the one I tried to record on this thing on last Saturday, I think, was a little zoomed in the whole way, although at least I had the wide angle lens on it. So I ended up uploading that as a members video. It was quite lively downtown on Saturday. I thought it was a pretty good video. All right. Gloves on. Let's go. And this is Queens Quay East. I'm riding west along the Martin Goodman Trail. And I'll never understand why people choose to walk in this. It's a multi-use trail, which technically means anything goes. But there's a perfectly good sidewalk right there, so why the heck would you walk what is essentially in what is essentially a bike lane? Doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to twist the camera to the right to get a view of the skyline there. here is Yonge Street. That's the Weston Harbour Castle Hotel on the left. Hey, bike lane closed. That's fun. So where am I supposed to go? I think it's actually closed for a pretty good stretch up here. Alright, I'm gonna detour and go north up Bay here. Hopefully that doesn't stay closed for too long. I was thinking of going left on Harbour Street there, as there is a two-way cycle track. There's Scotiabank Arena on the left. Well, so much for taking bike lanes the whole way. Well, I guess this kind of counts. What are these trucks doing? All right, let's go left on Front Street here. Will I make this advance green? Not really. The acceleration from a standstill when you're going uphill isn't very good when I'm in this drive mode. If I'm in sport mode, it's pretty good. That's Union Station on the left and the Royal York Hotel on the right. All right, I don't think I want to go straight through here. Let's turn right up York Street. So this is the financial district. And here's Adelaide Street. So we'll go left at the next one, which is Richmond. I think I've gone around 16 kilometers so far. Oh, hello! That guy just recognized me. So this is west on Richmond Street. I'm probably at some point going to do a ride that goes along Richmond and Adelaide. There are two streets that run parallel to one another, a block apart, and they each have bike lanes in the opposite direction. Thinking of turning right there and then making a left onto Queen, but if I can avoid that truck I will. Look at that, there's some kind of event being set up in that space. So I'll go right here at Yonge Street. And this would be Queen Street West. I had to question if I was going the wrong way on a one-way street there. That van parked the wrong way. And this here is Grange Park. This entire neighborhood around this area is also called Grange Park. We've got the Art Gallery of Ontario straight ahead. And OCAD University on the right. That stands for the Ontario College of Art and Design. And here is Beverly Street. I'm riding directly into the wind and this thing is struggling. Here is Dundas Street West. Making sure there's still some juice on the battery. And we are 9.37 kilometers in, so I was wrong when I said 16 kilometers earlier. It actually said average speed 16 kilometers. Oops. See if I can remember to correct that when I'm editing this. So Beverly will take us up to College Street, and then it'll turn into St. George Street, and that'll lead us through the University of Toronto campus. So I went south down the east side of downtown, and now we're heading north up the west side. Here is College Street. I'm not sure where it takes its name from, but I presume it's because of the University of Toronto, which is straight ahead. This is a street that was pretty dead over the last 2 years. But school is back in session for in-person learning. These people really need to look to their left before they jump out onto the street. Those are not crosswalks. There's a sign that tells the pedestrians to wait for a gap. And why are we parked in a bike lane in the middle of an intersection? What the hell are you doing? It's interesting seeing how differently people are dressed on a day like this. I see some winter coats and some t-shirts. There's Robarts Library on the left. And here's Bloor Street West. And St. George subway station is just on the right. So I haven't ridden this e-scooter a whole lot yet, but I would already be confident in recommending it. I think it's the single most popular model you'll see on the streets. And it's used by a lot of delivery guys and gals. I think the reason it's so popular is it's so durable and it's got that really long range. Advertised it up to 65 kilometers, but realistically it's probably closer to 35 to 40, depending on your weight and the conditions that you're riding in. If I have one knock, it's a little on the heavy side. With my other e-scooter, I could just pick up with one arm and run up a flight of stairs like it was nothing. This one, it's definitely not nothing. It's doable, but it takes a bit more effort. And there is the Chinese consulate. And there's no longer a bike lane on this side of St. George. Back when I moved back to Canada from Korea, I was looking at an apartment on St. George Street. It was kind of tiny. It was around $1,600 a month back then. And as much as I would have loved to live in this area, I think I kind of dodged a bullet by paying so much for that place. I can't imagine what the rent would be there right now. Probably well north of 2. And here is DuPont Street. I'm going to turn left here at Davenport, but I'll do a double turn. These are the old CP rail tracks. I'm heading underneath. And this bike lane is going to lead me to a very steep climb. I'm not sure if the scooter is up to that challenge. We're about to find out. I'm going to knock it up. Into sport mode, which I just did. So this could do 30 kilometers per hour or on a flatter surface, or flatter grade, however you want to say it. But here we go. Climbing Poplar Plains. I did this in a video on my single speed a few years ago. And this is the steepest part here. Oh, this is handling it with ease. I'm currently going 20 kilometers per hour. 18, 17. And climbs like this really eat through the battery. But I'm over 60% still. That sound you hear is a leaf caught in my front wheel assembly there. Fortunately, it's not the sound of air leaking out of the tire. Got that out of there. And yes, I've still got it in sport mode. And this thing moves pretty good. My other scooter can't go this fast. And here is St. Clair Avenue West just up ahead. You can see those flags really ripping through the wind there. Or rather, the wind ripping through the flags. This is extremely windy. Whoa, that wind just kind of knocked me to the left there. I'm going to get off of St. Clair. I'm pushing the e-scooter now because I'm going to turn up this street here, Deer Park. So this would be the Deer Park neighborhood. And here's Heath Street West. Here we are at Christchurch Deer Park. And this is Yonge Street straight ahead. And I think this is where I'm going to end this one. I just wanted to get out and finally record a proper ride on this thing. And I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. There will be a lot more e-scooter rides on this one, and maybe my other e-scooter as well this year, including a lot of live streams. If you do wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership in the description. Let me change, whoop, my e-scooter just made a soft landing. That's kind of funny. And it's an idea as to how strong the wind is. And I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides as well. See if I can turn the camera around. All right, thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.